All right, we are live. Welcome, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. We got a big video ahead of us tonight because we are going to talk about the best credit cards for bad credit. And at the end of it, I'm going to do a Q&A. But the best part, there's no hard inquiry for this specific credit card for anyone that has bad credit. Now, once you join the room, let me know exactly where you're at, where you're from. If you're watching this right now, drop it in the chat and let us know. Oh, here we go. Think we're fine. Yeah, we're good. We're good. Let us know exactly where you're at, where you're from, ladies and gentlemen. Once you get into the room, give you guys a few minutes for everybody to join so we can get everyone in here. Let us know where you're at, where you're from, ladies and gentlemen, in the chat. Drop it in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. We got a really good video ahead of you tonight. We're going to talk about the best credit cards for bad credit with no hard inquiry for 2025. Let's get it cracking, ladies and gentlemen. Let us know exactly where you're at, where you're from once you get into the room. We got people rolling in on Facebook and on YouTube. So welcome everybody that's in the room. Drop it in the chat once you get into the room, ladies and gentlemen. We're waiting on you to get this show on the road. Now, I want to shout out as many cities and states as I can. We've got people coming in from all over the country trying to rebuild their credit the right way. No more junk cards, no more Credit Karma lies. Stop getting cards from Credit Karma, ladies and gentlemen. All those cards are trash. So tell me in the comments, what city, what state, and if you're international, rep your country. Let's get it popping, ladies and gentlemen. It's Friday night. We're going to talk everything credit. Drop it in the chat. Now, if you're here, you're probably tired of getting denied for credit cards, stuck with low limits, or being offered trash credit cards like First Premiers, Open Skies, or Credit Ones that don't actually help your credit score. Yeah, I said it. They don't help your credit score, ladies and gentlemen, okay? All those crappy credit cards, we don't need them. I'm going to teach you exactly how to build your credit profile properly because all those crappy credit cards, all they do is they get you tiny limits, sky-high interest rates, and fees for just breathing. But tonight, we're going to be flipping the script on everyone, okay? This is going to be your live masterclass on the best credit cards for bad credit in 2025. Cards that actually help you grow. Cards that report real limits. Cards with no hard inquiry and no predatory fees. So like the video and subscribe if you're serious about fixing your credit, and let's jump into this game plan. We got Pearl River, Louisiana in the room. Where's everybody else at? Let's get you in the room. Tell us where you're at, where you're from. We got people coming in slowly. It's Friday night. Maybe a lot of people are out. Maybe they're not. I don't know. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. So let me ask you this right now. Drop a yes in the chat if you've ever been offered a First Premier, Open Sky, or a Credit One. Drop a yes in the chat. Or tell me what's the worst credit card offer you've ever got. Let me know in the chat. I want to know what's the worst credit card offer you've ever got. Because there's a lot of bad ones out there. There's a lot of bad ones out there, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Yeah, we got a lot of yeses in the room. Let us know what was the crappy credit card that they offered you. The Fit one. Oh my God. The Fit is like an undercover one. One of my favorite, most horrible offers is the Indigo credit card, ladies and gentlemen. Indigo credit card. Credit One, 33.99% APR. That's crazy. That's insane, yo. But the Indigo credit card is like one of the hidden ones also that has like all the colorful colors. It looks fun. You're like, oh, this looks great. And you're like, oh my God, look at those fees. Those fees are crazy. There's so many of them. So tonight we're going to be talking about the best credit cards for bad credit. Remember that. Cards that report big limits, cards with no hard inquiry, cards that actually help you rebuild and not keep you stuck. No fluff, no Credit Karma lies, just real game you can use tonight. So let's flood the chat with questions too. I'll answer them all live. So if you got questions, drop them in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. That is crazy work. I'm telling you, it's crazy work. It's crazy, man. 33.99%. I've seen credit cards with over 45%. Some really bad business credit cards. I saw one with 62%. I'm like, yo, Does nobody ever read the terms and conditions? Why do people talk about these credit cards like they're so awesome, they're so great, when like these there's business credit cards that are horrible, ladies and gentlemen. They get everybody. Let us know where you're at, where you're from, ladies and gentlemen. Thank God Cap One went with FICO 8. Actually, I haven't seen any change in Capital One inside the app yet. So I've been hearing this rumor that they're going to be switching to FICO 8, and I'm like, when? Let me pull it up. I'm gonna pull it up on my phone real quick. I'm gonna see if it's changed. I'm willing to bet you money it hasn't yet, because I've been checking it, because this rumor that's been circulating. Okay, I haven't seen it. Boise, Idaho in the house. And you know I keep it real with you guys, man. I'm gonna tell you the truth. Let's see. Nope. They're still pumping credit wise. Yo, I'm gonna I'm gonna do two things. I'm gonna show you something really interesting real quick. I'm gonna show you my credit wise credit score. Then I'm gonna show you my FICO score. Okay. Oh, it actually does say it will soon be switching from a Vantage score to a FICO score. Okay, which is okay. They're saying it right there. So look at it. We'll put it up on the screen so you guys. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's saying that my my Vantage score is a 718. Okay, so remember that's my Vantage score. Now we're gonna pull up my FICO. Pull up my FICO and see exactly what my FICO talking about over here, because we all know that only thing that matters is my FICO. Okay, so give me a second. And listen, if you're taking advice from anybody that talks about credit, ask them what their credit score is. Someone really I'll be honest, they rubbed me the wrong way and they said, "What's your credit score, Mike?" And I was like, "You're checking me?" So I actually made a video about it on YouTube, quick little 1-minute video, and I showed them what my credit score was. And I said, "Now what's your credit score?" They never came back. I don't know why, but they never came back. But again, let me show you exactly what my score looks like right now on my FICO, because FICO is the only credit score that matters. So give me a second. I'm going to pull it up. This is my credit score right now. Bam. An 819, 827, and 814. Okay. That's a FICO score. You see the big difference? That's pretty crazy. Now let's take this off the screen for a second so I can show you. So you can see it right there. It's right there. That's my FICO. That's my credit score. Okay. Bad for your health. Yeah, man. So as you can see, the huge difference, a 719 versus an 819, 827, and 814. That makes no sense. Yeah, I got receipts. That's right. So like, that's crazy, right? So again, we want to focus on our FICO score. That's the only thing that matters. Okay. To this video where we're going to talk about the best credit cards for bad credit. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. All right, starting with card number 1. Okay, this is what I call the Cred.ai strategy. All right, let's put it up on the screen here so you guys can see what the Cred.ai credit card looks like. It's a black credit card. All right, this is a very unique card because this is the $1,500 limit card that requires no money down. So let's start with the Cred.ai unicorn card. Okay, hey, listen, that's where I want everyone to be, in the 800 club. Okay, I want everyone to get there, and I'm going to teach you how to build your credit profile properly if you have bad credit. Now, if you want me to talk more about people that are like in the high 700s, 800s, drop it in the chat. Let me know. Drop a little heart emoji in the chat if you want me to come back and make a video about the best credit cards for people that got excellent credit, because I can do it all. Okay, so here's the thing about the Cred.ai credit card. Okay, there's no hard inquiry. It reports as a $1,500 limit credit card. You don't even have to fund it to get that benefit. Did you hear me? Okay, you don't have to fund it to get the $1,500 to report to your credit profile. That's what's very unique about this credit card. Okay, so who here has never heard of the Cred.ai card before tonight? Type new in the chat. If you've never heard about the Cred.ai credit card, drop new in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Oh, look at Professor X. I love that. Professor X knows about it. Professor X, now Colorado in the room. Colorado in the room. Nobody's heard about it. Look at that. I love that. A lot of people saying they've never heard of the Cred.ai credit card. So now here's what's unique. Let me see if I can put this also on the screen. Give me 1 second. I've got this incredible. I found something. Let me see. Here it is. All right. So when I say it's going to report a $1,500 line of credit, I bring receipts, ladies and gentlemen. I bring receipts. Okay. So let's explain how this works. This is, in fact, a secured credit card. But what did I just say? You don't even have to fund it for it to report that $1,500 line of credit. But I always tell everybody, just put, literally, okay, just put $10 on this card. And then that's all you'll have to spend. You do not have $1,500, but it's always going to report a $1,500 line of credit. Look at down there right there where it says credit limit at the bottom of the screen. It's $100 very clearly. And then right there it says credit card, the account type. Now, if this were a normal secured credit card, it would say secured credit card. And we don't want that on our credit profile. We want it to just say credit card. This is what makes it even more powerful. So you start with this credit card and there are absolutely no fees whatsoever. So you'll never get in debt. This is the perfect credit card. If you put $10 on it, you only have $10 to spend. You could put 100, 1,000. You can put as much money as you want on this card, but you'll only have what you have put on the card to spend. So you can never get yourself in debt. This is so great for rebuilding credit. I cannot stress it enough to everybody. I love this credit card. I'm going to drop it in the chat right now for anybody that needs it. So give me 1 second for the Cred.ai credit card. Here we go. Drop it in the chat for anybody that needs the Cred.ai credit card. It's a great credit builder for anybody. Miami in the room, I see you out there. If you're just joining the live, let us know where you're at, where you're from, ladies and gentlemen. We are talking about the Cred.ai credit card that nobody's really heard about. Let's put it back up on the screen right here. It's one of my favorite ones. Now, let's do a little poll real quick. Would you be down to try the Cred.ai if it helped your score? Drop a yes or no in the chat. So drop a yes or no in the chat if you'd be down to try the Cred.ai if it helped your credit score. Because this is going to do two things. It's going to add that $1,500 line of credit to your credit profile. So you don't have a $200, $300, or $500 limit. You're going to show a $1,500 limit. That's going to help raise your overall utilization. So it shows that you have more available credit. And then every time you use it, you pay it off. You're going to build positive payment history. And that's exactly what we want. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So drop it in the chat if you would like to try it, if it will help your credit score. Drop a yes or a no in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, you got DC. We got a lot of yeses, of course. Awesome, awesome. Illinois. All right, here we go. We got Raleigh, North Carolina, Maryland, New York, Bronx. Once you join the chat, once you get into the room, let us know where you're at, where you're from. I'll shout you out. Miami, Florida in the room also. Just going through the comments real quick, make sure I don't miss anybody. This is good for your clients that need help with their credit. And again, ladies and gentlemen, do not, and I repeat, do not get any crappy credit cards. They're not necessary. If any influencer, any YouTuber, any creator out there is telling you, hey, man, you know, you should get this Open Sky, this First Premier, this Credit One, it's just a building point. No, stop. Unfollow that person, unsubscribe to them, because they're just after an affiliate fee. I make no money from any of these credit cards. Okay, I make no money from Cred.ai. I'm just telling you what are some of the best options that you can possibly have. And I'm just using my referral codes for my regular credit cards that help me rebuild my credit for some of these. So I'm not looking for an affiliate sign up like a lot of these other people are. So you want to stay away from those people that are out there trying to get you to sign up for First Premiers, Open Skies, Credit Ones. They're horrible credit cards. You don't want them on your credit profile. Orange, Texas in the room, and so is Columbus, Ohio. What up, everybody? So now we're going to move on to our second credit card that can help you rebuild, which is actually one of my oldest credit cards. Let me see if I can find it right here. I'm going to show you the old school one, and then I'm going to show you the new one that they sent me. I think I have the new one somewhere here. Somewhere here. Hold on 1 second, guys. I have way too many credit cards. Oh, here it is. It's right here. So This is one of my oldest credit cards. This is, let's go ahead and take this off the screen real quick. This is one of my oldest credit cards. Look at that. Man, this thing's falling apart. It's the Capital One Platinum card. I had no idea, okay, that this was like an entry-level credit card. I just applied, and that's what they told me I could get. So I got it. So this is one of my oldest credit cards. As you can see, it's falling apart. And then they upgraded me to this new one. They gave me my deposit back. It was still a platinum card, but they gave me my deposit back, okay? Seattle in the house. Newark is in the house, okay? It's the platinum. That's the new one. And then they graduated me to a Quicksilver 1, and then they graduated me to a Quicksilver. So starting at the bottom with Capital One is not bad, ladies and gentlemen. Understand that. People are like, oh, it's a crappy credit card. It doesn't have a big limit. You can watch all of my videos that will help you raise that credit limit and then upgrade it to a different credit card. It's totally possible. So now understand, you can do the Capital One Platinum or the Capital One Quicksilver or Quicksilver 1. There's no hard inquiry to pre-qualify. There's going to be options with and without a deposit. These are great for people with a 580 to a 620 credit score. Some of them even lower than a 580 will get the Capital One Platinum secured, okay? So it's not a bad credit card. You're going to hear people talk trash about it all over the internet, say, oh, it gets you stuck in a bucket. The bucket thing does not exist, okay? It's just a rumor. I've helped thousands of my clients graduate their credit cards. So they got the platinum and then they moved up to the next level. Then they got a credit limit increased and they moved up to the next level. And a lot of them are in the Venture 1s, Venture X's, the Saver One credit cards, the ones that they want. If you're looking for a Capital One credit card, I put the link in the actual chat for anybody that needs it for Capital One. So tell me, everybody in the chat, okay? Capital One Platinum, the real MVP for real. Listen, having one of the top 5 biggest banks on your credit profile is very important. So we have Capital One, Discover, Chase Bank, American Express, and Citibank. Having all 5 of those is really key. Notice how there was no Credit Ones, First Premiers, Open Skies, Fit Cards, any Indigo cards. None of those are necessary. We want these 5 big banks or big credit unions, okay? That's what we want, ladies and gentlemen. Look at in the chat. I love this right here. Went from platinum to Venture 1, a platinum to a Venture 1. And then what can happen is you can go from a Venture 1 to a Venture X potentially, or just a Venture card, or to a Saver or a Saver 1 card. You can go to all of them. You can go to either one of those. Then right here, Quicksilver and a Saver. There you go. See, they actually have the best of both worlds. The Saver card is a great cashback credit card if you like cash back. But I dropped it in the chat for anybody that needs that Capital One card. But remember, there's no hard inquiry to see if you actually pre-qualify for this, okay? This is the perfect second move after Cred.ai. Remember, Cred.ai is our foundation. That's going to help us. Now, let's say you got a Capital One. Now you're like, okay, well, what do I do next, Mike? Well, now you've been building. Now you have great positive payment history. Remember, the golden rule when you're rebuilding also is never, never, ever carry a balance. And you don't have to spend a lot of money on your new cards. You can literally just go to the gas station, buy yourself a water, and then pay it off. You don't have to have debt to have a high credit score. You guys, I just showed you my credit score. Let me show you my credit score again. I have 0 debt. I have 0 debt, okay? And there's a couple of credit cards that reported a balance because of when I used them. I used them improperly. So my credit score is actually high, but they reported a balance. So I was like, okay, whatever. It doesn't matter because I'm still in 800. But this is right here proof that you don't have to carry debt. So stop listening to anybody that tells you, oh, you got to carry a balance on your credit card because then it doesn't show activity. They're lying. They have no idea what they're talking about. Ask them to see their credit score. Ask them to see their credit score. I bet you they won't show it. I bet you they won't show it. I'm going to start a new trend. Show me your credit score. That's what we're going to call it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So now, So, okay, we got some questions coming in. What's a good credit card for a 600 credit? So I would go with Capital One. I would just go with Capital One. You could actually restart this entire process exactly as I did in the beginning if you have a 600 credit score. Start with the Cred.ai and then go after the Capital One. And then right now we're on the third credit card. That's a very simple process, okay? Let me see. Hashtag show me the credit score. That's what it is. Hashtag show me the credit score. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. No, we got a really good comment here. I want to cover this real quick. Burned Amex, Chase, Discover, Citibank about 12 years ago. Sheesh. Only Cap One will issue me a credit card. Now, the only way to fix this, because you've probably been blacklisted, I'm just going to be honest with you, Peyton John, is that you have to start paying them back if you can. If not, who cares? You can rebuild around it, and you want to go with possibly credit unions now. Okay, so that is your other option. But if you want to get back into any banks, if you've defaulted with American Express, Chase Bank, Discover Bank, or Citibank, after it's past the 7-year mark, and it can no longer report on your credit report and it's gone, then you can start paying them back, or you can reach out to them regardless and start paying them back. Okay. But reach out to them and talk to them about your situation. Just be honest with the bank. Say, listen, I went through a financial hardship. Shit hit the fan. Okay. I need your help, fam. Can you please help me get back into the family? And they'll actually put you on a payment plan. Amex is really great about that. What they'll do is they'll put you on a payment plan. Once you're done paying, they'll give you what's called an Optima credit card. Again, an Optima credit card. And you start rebuilding your relationship with American Express with that card, and then you're back in the family. And in about 6 to 8 months, they'll graduate you to a green card. You'll start at the very bottom and work your way up, but it does totally work, okay? All right, we're going to get to Credit One does suck, okay? Yes, it does. Is the Discover credit card a good card? Yes, we're going to cover that, James, here in a minute, okay? All right, we're going to cover that in a minute. Statute of limitations passed off the 3 bureaus. Yeah, so now you can call them and negotiate some type of payment. But here's what's important to understand, everybody. If you've ever defaulted on a credit card, they're not going to delete a negative item off your credit report. American Express and Chase Bank are the only 2 lenders that can potentially delete it from your credit report if you default. But if you pay them within that 7-year mark, it's going to reset the debt clock. Now, paying them, this is why we always say don't pay a debt collector, because it's going to reset the clock unless they're going to delete it from your credit report. Because you paying it on your credit report after it's defaulted does not help your credit score in any way, shape, or form. It does not. It may look good to other lenders, like a mortgage lender is the only one's going to say, oh, it's paid off. Who cares? Because they want to get you massive debt with a home. But besides that, it doesn't help your credit score whatsoever. What up, Texas Gal? Appreciate the support, Texas Gal. Watches the videos all the time. First time catching your live. Appreciate it. For always, forever, for life. I see you in there. Everybody hit that like button, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, we have 48 people in here and only 13 likes. Y'all got to step it up over here, man. Y'all tripping. All right. If you have below 680 credit score, you need to start at the beginning, just like I said. Get the Cred.ai credit card and then a Capital One credit card. You can skip the Cred.ai if you want to, but the purpose of the Cred.ai is it's going to report a $1,500 line of credit. So when you move up to the next step, you're going to be offered something higher than a $1,500 credit limit. Does that make sense, everybody? Drop a 1 in the chat if that makes sense. If you add a credit card that's $1,500 to your credit limit, of your credit limit to your credit profile, then you apply for a new credit card, they're going to be incentivized to give you a higher limit also past that $1,500. Drop a 1 in the chat if that makes sense to you, okay? Because that's very important to understand that this is exactly what we need to do. Oh, yes. Oh, Nicole. Nicole. Let's put Nicole. Where she go? Here you go. Nicole, so you mean to tell me once I paid $700 off my credit one, is still going to remain on my credit? Yes. Yes. They have to agree to delete it from your credit report. Oklahoma in the house. Once you get into the chat, let us know where you're from, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. So this is why, listen, I'm never going to tell anybody not to pay their debt, but I want you to understand what happens when you pay it and they don't delete it, because it's still hurting your credit. And then once you paid it, it reset the debt clock, and it's going to be on there for 7 years from the moment you actually paid them, which is no bueno, okay? Let's go to this one. 698 score, but only 2-year history, 1 maxed out Discover, and 5 other cards at 0. I can't get approved for anything. You don't need to. It's because your card's maxed out. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we're kind of in a situation where we're on the precipice of a recession, okay? Numbers are coming out for unemployment. They're not showing complete numbers because I'm looking at different data points from different areas, and the numbers that came out today were a complete lie. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it because I'm looking at different industries. They're only showing you specific industries. So the economy is not in a good place right now. So if you're carrying a balance, and this is coming from someone like me, okay, that has a high credit score, even if I apply for something with an over 800 credit score and I have a decent balance on a credit card, the credit card companies are going to be red flagged to not give me a high limit or just not approve me whatsoever, because the economic times are not good. We're seeing the largest amount of credit card defaults in American history. So everyone needs to understand that, because we don't want to apply anything. So build with 2 cards and then move over to something, okay? But pay off that Discover card before you do anything, okay? So if your Discover card's maxed out, let's pay it off and then move forward. Because I'll give you a great example. Even if I carry 6% utilization, that can be something crazy, because I have I think it's like something over $250 million worth of available credit on credit cards. So if I carry a 6% utilization, that could be a $3,000 balance. You see what I'm saying? And then the credit card company's like, whoa, pump your brakes. This is not a good time to give this guy some more money. He's a high risk. Any type of balances that you carry determine that you are a high borrower. So you want to clear those balances off and then get your score up to the highest peak possible and then go apply for something else, okay? I hope that makes sense. So yeah, let me clear this off real quick. Here it is. Here we go. Brooklyn in the house. I see you, Brooklyn, NY. Detroit, Tampa, Florida, Annapolis, Maryland. Once you get into the room, let us know where you're at, where you're from, ladies and gentlemen. All right, and we got another good question before we move forward. Here, Maryland, just saw the video about NASA Credit Union. Can you give me any suggestions about if Capital One closed my credit cards because of a return payment, would they open it once I paid off? No, they won't open it back up. Capital One is very finicky about that because they're one of the largest subprime lenders in the United States. So they don't want to see any return payments. It's a huge red flag. So what I would pay them off completely and then reapply for another credit card. This is kind of a tough lesson. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we don't want to carry those balances because those balances show that we're high risk. Then we get a return payment. Capital One is infamous for closing accounts like this. Some people are like, oh, they just magically closed my account. No, that doesn't happen. Something happened. At least Lajim, if I could pronounce that right, sorry, was honest with us and told us it was a return payment. That does happen a lot with Capital One. I had a return payment from American Express, but it wasn't returned. It was just the bank account number was off by 1 number or something. And American Express started hitting me up like, whoa, bro, your payment was no good. They froze all my cards. I have like 12 of them. I was like, yo, why my card's not working? Then I opened up the app and I was like, what is this? I was like, so I called American Express and they're like, yeah, your bank account is not, the number's not correct because I switched accounts. And I was like, but y'all know it's wrong. So why you shut me down like that? That's American Express. Okay. So this is normal when that happens. But again, it wasn't a failed payment for me. It was I put the wrong account number in, like a noob or something. Okay. So Texas is in the room right here. Oh my God, that's hilarious, Miguel. It's Miguel backwards. Oh my God. All right, let's read this one over here. That's what happens with Navy Federal and More Rewards, bro. They closed it for $300. I've been paying it back. I owe $157 now. So with Navy Federal, they'll let you back. Just pay it off pre-med or pre-med, Dre? Maybe? I don't know. Pre-med, okay? So just pay them off and you'll be good, okay? Texas in the house. Bank of America is trash too. I love that. Bank of America is trash on the personal side. Now, you're only going to hear me say this not very often, but Bank of America does have good credit cards, and especially on the business side. But I don't like their personal banking. Like, they've had a lot of issues, so I can't support them, unfortunately. But I will talk about their credit cards so people know what is available, unfortunately. But I'm not a big fan of them. Okay. All right, so what's up, Mike? I got a pre-approval for NASA for $15,000, but as I continue the application, they had it at $2,500. Why is that? It's an interesting question. It could be a lot of determining factors, okay? Because they didn't pull the full report. Sometimes Nelly to Dawn, sometimes that happens. Special pre-approvals, they range. It's crazy. I don't have a real good for that you're gonna like, but a lot of times it's because when they pull pre-approval, it's not a report. And when they pull a full report, they're getting a snapshot of exactly right now. So when they do a soft pre-approval, it could be from an old report. So there'll be a lot of different factors in there. Are you carrying balances on other credit cards? Do you have loans with high amounts, car loans, personal loans, lines of credit, stuff like that? Do you have a lot of inquiries? So a lot of determining factors. I can't give you a 100% answer to that, but that's kind of give you a generalization. All right, here we go. Does a 695 TransUnion credit score approve you for a Skyla credit card? All right, I'm going to break down exactly what to do once you get to a credit union, okay? Fitness, health. Everybody needs to stay tuned because I'm going to break down what you need to do when you get to a credit union. I always tell people don't apply for any credit union cards unless you're above a 725 FICO bank card score 8, okay? Again, a 725 FICO bank card score 8. Don't apply for it right out the gate because what's going to happen is credit unions are relationship-based banking, ladies and gentlemen, okay? This is why it's important to not shoot at the hip. I'll give you a great example. I joined Navy Federal Credit Union. I had like a 760 credit score. I had already high limit credit cards on my credit profile. My first credit card, I applied for it. I opened up my account. I put some money in it. It wasn't even 30 days, I think, maybe 31 days, if that. I applied for a credit card, and I had not established a relationship with them, and they gave me like a $5,000 credit limit, which for me, that's like not a lot. So I was like, oh, Navy Federal, like, why you do me so dirty? And but then I came back and I did everything they wanted me to do, and then they actually raised that. Now it's a $12,000 credit card limit, and then no, sorry. When they moved me up, it moved it up to a $12,000. Then they got me to a $20,000. Then I have another $25,000 credit card and another $30,000 credit card with them. So you have to build and establish a relationship with them in order to get those high limit credit cards. Okay, so build a relationship. I'll cover that right now in a second, so everybody can know. Gulfport, Mississippi, what up? He said that's too low for me. All right, let me see. But another Bank of America sucks. Never had a credit through them, but they suck. Can you get an American Express with a low credit score? It really depends. Now, I've seen crazy situations where some of my clients that were in some of the credit repair programs, they didn't listen to me and they went and applied. We've seen people get approved with a 640 and a 660 for a platinum card. And I'm like, bro, how and why would they approve you for a platinum card with a 660 or 640? I've seen it. It is possible. It's dependent on what on the credit profile also. So everyone's going to vary. It's totally possible. I've seen it. Okay. Once you get into the room, let us know exactly where you're at, where you're from. Now we're going to move on to what I call the CardMatch tool. So we already talked about the Cred.ai credit card. the Capital One credit card, and now we're going to do a card match, because now we have actually built our credit profile with our foundation. Now we're going to see exactly what we can be matched up to. Now there's no hard inquiry with the card match tool. It's going to let you know exactly what you can potentially qualify for. It could be an array of things. I don't know what it's going to be because everyone is going to be completely different. So I'll drop it in the chat for anybody that wants the credit card match tool to see what they qualify for. And then you go from there if it makes sense. But don't get any credit cards, okay, that are crappy credit cards. You want to go for an American Express, Chase Bank, Citibank, Discover, and Capital One. The big five. Again, let's say it again. American Express, Chase Bank, Citibank, Capital One, and Discover. One of those five is what you want to get from your card match tool. If it's not any of those, don't get them. It's not worth it. We want the big five credit profile. I dropped the link in the chat for anybody because there's no hard inquiry. So what cards can you get without a hard inquiry? It's going to be dependent on your credit profile. Okay. See, it's also going to be in the video description for anybody that needs it. Capital One Platinum. Yeah. Still got mine. I still got mine. Well, they actually gave me a Quicksilver. Finally, it's past it went from the Platinum. Let me show it again real quick. The Quicksilver somewhere. I don't know where it's at. But this was my first Platinum credit card with Capital One. And then it went to the new Platinum credit card that was unsecured. They gave me my money back. And then it went to a Quicksilver 1, which is wild. As you see, I didn't even activate this. And then now it's on the Quicksilver card. So now I have two Quicksilver cards. I don't really use them, but I just use them to keep them active. You got Mississippi in the house, ladies and gentlemen. So let's talk about what's holding you back from good credit. I want to pause real quick and talk to you. What's holding you back right now? Is it collections? Is it not knowing where to start? Is it getting denied over and over? Drop it in the chat. Let's work through it live right here. So let me know in the chat. What's holding you back from having good credit? Is it collections, not knowing where to start, or is it getting denied over and over again? Let me know in the chat. We can talk about this. We can talk about this, ladies and gentlemen, because I want to help you as much as I possibly can here. Take a drink of my water right here. So here, this is a good question right here. So I built my wife's credit into 700s. Mine crashed to 560. Should I become an authorized user? If you're going to become an authorized user on anybody's credit card, you should make sure that they're not carrying a balance and they pay on time every single month. And it will help you, but you need to work on your credit. Again, listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't work to delete negative items from your credit report, your score is literally going to plateau. You won't go any farther. You'll get to like 680, maybe 700, and then it won't go any farther because the collections and charge-offs act like a ball and chain and hold your score back. Once they get deleted, this is why people see credit score increases. So I want to give a special shout out to all my beasters out there that are using Dispute Beast to fix their credit. The most advanced AI credit repair software ever created that comes with a 110% money back guarantee, ladies and gentlemen. Now to specifically DeMarcus. DeMarcus' credit score went up 559 points after just 30 days with Dispute Beast. 185 points with TransUnion. That's crazy. 197 points with Experian. And 177 points with Equifax. This is what I call a unicorn because that's insane. Okay, that's not normal. But we got more. Don't worry. Also, special shout out to Edgar. Edgar's credit score went up 279 points after just 30 days with Dispute Beast. And let's not forget about Matthew. Matthew's credit score went up 309 points after just 30 days with Dispute Beast also. His credit score went up 41 points from TransUnion, 136 points with Experian, 132 points with Equifax. That's pretty crazy, ladies and gentlemen. That's pretty crazy, okay? And then we got Martin. Martin's credit score went up 325 points after just 30 days with Dispute Beast also. Each attack is 30 days to 45 days max. So 128 points on TransUnion, 56 points with Experian, 139 points with Equifax. Now, for the people that say, oh, that's not enough, that's not very many people, don't worry, I bring receipts as I always do. Look at Martin up there at the very top. Martin's 325 points. Matthew, 309. Monica, 107. Ronald, 28 points. Keith, 219 points. Mostafa, 49 points. Stewart, 5 points. Melina, 212 points. I bring receipts every time we do this, ladies and gentlemen, because I want you to show that there are real people out here getting real results. So if you're dealing with any collections or charge-offs, make sure to comment Beast and the link drop to you in the chat for anybody that needs Dispute Beast to help you fit your credit. Dispute Beast is very simple, ladies and gentlemen. You just set up your credit monitoring account. Once you set up your credit monitoring account, you set up your free Beast account. Then you tie it all together. You click one button. Okay, you click one button, ladies and gentlemen, and that one button will create your attack letters. You don't have to pick letters. You don't have to pick reasons. You don't have to do any of that. Dispute Beast does it all for you. Dispute Beast won't let you do something wrong either. If you try to, it will warn you, like, hey, don't do that. Warning, warning. Danger, Will Robinson. Okay. If you comment Beast on Facebook, it will drop the link in your inbox. So check your DM. But Dispute Beast comes with a 110% money back guarantee, ladies and gentlemen. We stand behind it. We guarantee it. We know it works. I bring results, different results every time. Yo, special shout out right here for the gift over here, ladies and gentlemen. 7 in pennies, baby. 75 in pennies, baby. Rachel, appreciate you, sis. You're welcome. You're welcome. I greatly appreciate you. Special shout out right there, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody gossip different for light years of time. I don't know what you, okay. Talking in code over here. I don't know what you're talking about. So what happens after you get a stall letter? So here's the thing. Stall letter is back telling me it wasn't for me. So you could have easily picked up the phone and called. Well, first off, let's start here in the beginning. Dispute Beast gives you free live training multiple times a week that you can come to. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you have support that is running. We're trying to get to 24 hours, but we're running right now from 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. We're eventually going to get to 24-hour support. So you have support. You got a support tab inside of Dispute Beast dashboard. You get live training. You get live training. I think it's like 4 or 5 times a week, something crazy. You also get videos delivered to your email telling you exactly what to expect, what to do, how to move. All of that stuff is delivered to you in email. So if you feel discouraged and you stop, don't stop, because this is something that's been going on for years. Nobody wants to talk about it. I'm the only one that's been talking about stall tactic letters, and it's real, but they are still doing an investigation. The system is triggering these crazy letters because they're trying to slow you down, because the bureaus technically have up to 3 months, 90 days to do a full investigation. So the first block starts at 30 days, and then it moves 15 days. And then if it gets to 45 days, they can push it all the way through to an even longer time, up to 90 days. That's crazy. So this is why a lot of people will see crazy deletions all at one time, as opposed to, oh, this one didn't happen, this one didn't happen. But if you want to resolve this issue faster, you can literally just pick up the phone and call the credit reporting agency and say, yo, I sent you a letter, man. File the dispute, please. Follow the process, okay? All right? And understand that this is how the process works anywhere. Doesn't matter where you go. Anyone that says otherwise is lying, okay? Because we're up against AI. This is why I helped build our system with AI technology, because you have to fight AI with AI, okay? So go through the system. There's a 110% money back guarantee. Why would you quit if you're going to get all your money back if you follow the process? Again, there's a 110% money back guarantee. If nothing changes in that time frame of the guarantee, you get your money back and then some. So you have nothing to lose, right? So why would you not continue? Did you see the difference in what our system is compared to everyone else? Nobody else stands behind it like we do. So stick to the plan and keep pushing forward, and just follow all of the requirements and then you're going to get your money back guarantee if it doesn't work. It's just that simple. Nobody else stands behind it like that. And nobody wants to guarantee because there's so many different variables, but we stand behind it. We understand, and we have no problem giving your money back if it doesn't work. See the difference? That's the difference in what we do compared to everyone else. So again, understand this too. I want everyone. Oh, here we go. Credit bureaus make more money off of you having a bad credit score. They don't make money off of people like me that have a good credit score and I don't owe anybody any money. They make money off of people with bad credit. So the longer they can keep you down, the more it's going to benefit them and not you. But here's the thing about DisputeBeast. It doesn't matter what they say because DisputeBeast is going to refresh your credit reports, see if anything has changed, nothing has changed, or if that letter didn't work, this letter didn't work, it's going to create a different round for you. Every round is going to be different based on any change or no change or change. DisputeBeast is going to figure out the best path moving forward. So you don't have to do anything. You just click the button and keep it pushing. Go to sleep. Go do your regular thing that you're doing at home, at work. Enjoy the rest of your day. It's just that simple. So don't get discouraged. Keep pushing forward. People get so discouraged in credit repair because they think, oh, it's a scam. It doesn't work. Like, no, it takes time. Think about it like this. It took you 6 to 8 months for your card or your account to default and report as a charge off or collection. But you expect it to be deleted after 30 or 60 days? It ain't going to be that easy because understand something. The banks and the collection companies have more to lose if that item gets deleted because then they have no leverage. The leverage is on your credit report. The negative items are giving them leverage to hold you down. See what I'm saying? So keep pushing forward, ladies and gentlemen. Don't get discouraged. I've been doing this for over 15 years, man. There's a reason why I put together, well, I didn't put it together. One of my best friend who passed away, unfortunately, Just Jay Woodfin, he put the Avengers of Credit Repair together. And that's how we created DisputeBeast. We have so many data points from all of our experience that we're able to help so many people, so many more people. Now let's move on to part number 4 or card number 4 of the live, which is going to be Skyla Credit Union or any other large credit union that I talk about on my YouTube channel or on my Facebook, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Let me see. I'm going to answer some, before we get into this part, I'm going to answer some more questions real quick. Is it cheaper to mail out your letters or have DisputeBeast do it? It really depends on you. Depends on, everyone's letters are going to vary because remember, it's attacking 12 credit reporting agencies, not just the big 3. So the more negative items you have, the more letters you're going to have. So I would say do it one round, like print them out on your own and then mail them out on your own, see how much it costs, and then try DisputeBeast. DisputeBeast is very, very reasonable to mail your letters out. We're not trying to price gouge anybody. It's literally like cents that they're making in that process because it's not an easy process. The machine literally prints your letters, folds them, and stuffs them in an envelope. And then it's somebody's job to scan them through the system and get them mailed out. And that's it. It just literally goes through an automated process. So you're literally paying for the letters, for the actual envelopes and the postage and the convenience of not having to do any of it. Because once you start printing out all these letters, you can be like, oh my God, yo, this is like really expensive. This is a lot of paper. This is a lot of ink. Yeah. Yeah. We got high output machines that are cranking those things out in Texas. It's like, you're like, this is crazy when you watch it. Maybe I should go do a video about that. Go record the entire process because it's pretty crazy. But yeah, so it just really depends. So I say try it however you want. Like do it yourself and then try to do it through DisputeBeast, whatever seems more economical for you because we want this to work for you. That's why we gave those 2 different options. Let's get 20 more likes in the room, ladies and gentlemen. We got how many people in here? 61 people in from YouTube, and we only got like 29 likes. Let's get some likes. Get some likes over there from Facebook also. I'm giving you guys some serious gems here, ladies and gentlemen. So if you felt like you've learned a lot on this live, drop a gem in the comment section, ladies and gentlemen. Drop a gem in the comment section, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening there, Vic Ferrer. Vic Ferrer. What up? Once you join the live, make sure to tell us where you're at, where you're from. The cost of DisputeBeast is $49.99 for the credit monitoring. And then the use of Dispute Beast is free. And then mailing your letters on your own or using Dispute Beast is going to vary. That's going to be up to you. I'm today years old that I learned not to carry credit card balances. Yeah, listen, I'm telling you right now, man, it's crazy because drop it in the chat. Okay, we're gonna do something real quick. Drop a 1 in the chat if you've heard creators or YouTubers telling you to carry a balance on your credit card. Drop a 1 in the chat if you've heard any creators or any YouTubers telling you need to carry a balance on your credit card. Okay, I want to see how many people say this because I know exactly how many it's going to be because I already know these people. They're ridiculous. You need to carry a small balance because then it doesn't show that you're using your credit card. They always love to say that. Here we go. We got the ones pouring in the room. If you ever see somebody say that, go into their chat, say, Mike the credit guy, say you a lie. And then say, can we see your credit score, please? Respectfully. Okay? Because they're not going to show you the credit score. I'll show you mine real quick again. I pulled it while we were on the live earlier. It's actually from yesterday. But it's 819, 827, 814. We had some things that reported balances. That's why it's actually that low. It's actually supposed to be higher. So I pull it once a week just to stay face in case anybody tries to pull my card and say, what's your credit score, Mike? They do it, and then I show them, and then they disappear. So, yeah, if anybody's telling you to carry a balance on your credit card, tell them I would respectfully like to see your credit score. And Mike, the credit guy, told me to tell you you're a lie. Okay, so let's get into the credit union part of this video is going to be the most valuable part of this video, ladies and gentlemen, of this live. Now, Skyla Credit Union is one of my favorite new credit unions. They're actually local to me in North Carolina, but anyone can join Skyla Credit Union, ladies and gentlemen. Again, let's repeat. Yeah, that was from my FICO, Frenchie. That was my FICO that I put up. I'll put it back up. I'll leave it up here so you can see it. That's my FICO. It's FICO score 8 right there at the very top. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who missed it. All right. We got okay, here we go. We got a good question. I cannot skip. James Ellis. Well, tell us in the chat. He says Equifax not reporting for months. What do I do? Let me know in the chat. What do you mean they're not reporting? Like your whole account? Now, if they're not reporting your whole account, did you start disputing with them? Okay. In the chat, did you start disputing with them, James? And then they stopped reporting your credit report. This is a simple thing. They may need you to verify who you are. Okay. What up? We got a beaster in the house. So James, if they're not reporting your Equifax report, then you can call them and tell them, I need to verify my identity. Because they try to play these games. Equifax was infamous for this like 3 years ago during COVID. They were just locking people out of their credit reports that were disputing. Literally, it was crazy, okay? So reach out to Equifax over the phone and then send them a letter with your identity. So a picture of your driver's license, a picture of your utility bill, and just send out a simple letter. Can you please remove the fraud alert from my credit report and unlock my reports because I cannot see them? Get it notarized also from your local bank and then send it to them certified mail with return receipt. So you have proof that you sent it. So in case you need to escalate it to an attorney, okay? But those are the first steps that you need to do if your Equifax has not been reporting for months. Hope that helps. So Skyla Credit Union is in fact available for anyone, anywhere in the United States. They are based in Charlotte, North Carolina. They have some locations in, I think, Greensboro, Charlotte, and then, was it Graham? They also have some locations in California, okay? But anyone can get this account, okay, ladies and gentlemen? This is the $25,000 credit card play, even with a 580 FICO score. Now, this is where we really level up is Skyla Credit Union. What I'm going to teach you, you could do this and apply this to any large credit union also, okay, ladies and gentlemen? So, understand, Skyla Credit Union only pulls from TransUnion. You only need a 580 FICO score for any of their credit products. And if you follow this exact strategy, you can get a $25,000 credit card in 6 to 8 months. Hear what I just said, ladies and gentlemen. In 6 to 8 months. If you have bad credit, you shouldn't go in there all willy-nilly and applying for a high-limit credit card thinking they're going to... Why would they give you a high-limit credit card if you don't have any relationship with them? Let's think logically here, okay? Remember, credit unions are relationship-based banking, okay? All right? My Score IQ is a good monitoring service. I'm a fan of them because they show your FICOs, okay? Congrats, James, for signing up for Dispute Beast. Now, here's what you do once you get to the credit union. Drop a little gem in the chat if you're ready for me to give you the sauce on what you do when you join a credit union, ladies and gentlemen. Drop a little gem in the chat if you're ready for me to give you the sauce on what to do once you get into Skyla Credit Union. I believe there's also a wait list, so get on the wait list because they're backed up, okay? The video's taken off everywhere, and they're backed up. They also just released a $50,000 credit card. In case you weren't paying attention, Skyla Credit Union on June 1st, which is about 6 days ago or 5 days ago, dropped a $50,000 metal credit card with 0% APR for 12 months, ladies and gentlemen. That's pretty crazy. And they explicitly told me, I went in there and talked with them in person. They explicitly told me we are, in fact, bad credit friendly. We want to help people. We want to help people rebuild. We want to help people get into homes, car loans, better credit card options. We want people to come here so we can help them rebuild their lives. And I was like, say less. I got you, fam. I'm not being paid or sponsored by me talking about Skyla Credit Union. Everyone, yo, you're getting paid for that. No, I'm not. Not a dime. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, not a dime paid to me, Mike the Credit Guy, or my company, Culture, for talking about Skyla Credit Union. I just like to give you the sauce because I feel like it's the better thing to do, right? You know that people charge thousands of dollars for information I give you guys for free. People are so mad at me in the industry, they don't like me because I give you guys all of the information that they're charging in these courses for. I'm like, yo, why are we gatekeeping? 2025, let's not gatekeep. All right, we got some gems. I got enough gems in there. All right, so let's drop it. Bust out your pen and paper. All your information is about to go down. Once you get into Skyla Credit Union or any other large credit union, Skyla is going to be our preferred one right now. Hold on. Let me put up their picture so everyone knows exactly who I'm talking about. So give me 1 second. Sorry, I'm not trying to make you guys wait any longer. So everyone can actually see what this credit union actually looks like. So give me 1 second. So you guys go to the right one and not the wrong one. So give me 1 second. I'm about to drop it in the chat. Actually, I'm going to put it up here. So give me 1 second. Here we go. I want you guys to see exactly what... Oh, Jesus. Where'd it go? There it went. I want you guys to see exactly what it looks like. So you guys go to the right credit union. This is Skyla Credit Union again. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Skyla Credit Union. There it is. I'm going to leave it up here so everyone can see exactly what it looks like. So when you go search for it on the web, I'm going to drop it in the chat too. So give me 1 second. I'm going to drop it in the chat for anybody that needs it. Where are you at, Skyla? All right, let me see. Skyla Credit Union. Let me find it for 1 second, guys. I want to give it to you guys so you guys go to the right place. Oh, here it is. Give me 1 second. There it is. So we're going to drop it in the chat right here for anybody that needs Skyla. Join the wait list, ladies and gentlemen, for Skyla, okay? Because they've got an influx from all the videos that I've dropped about them. So just make sure that you get on the wait list and join them because this is going to be totally worth it for you. So once you get to Skyla Credit Union, what you want to do is you want to open up a checking and a savings, ladies and gentlemen. Put as much as you can into your checking, as much as you can into your savings. You want to do a direct deposit, okay? So we're going to deposit funds into our savings as much as we can and as much as we can into our checking. We want to do a direct deposit of a minimum of $500, okay? $500 minimums, okay? So we're going to answer this question because people always ask this silly question because people are like, I don't believe you. So this is not the one. This is another one. Sorry, that's the wrong one. Doesn't Skyla approve you and give you a limit according to your credit report and score? Okay, we just said it's bad credit friendly. A 580 FICO score and above is entry level for any of their credit products. Any credit union is relationship banking. Okay, relationship banking. So you have to build and establish a relationship to qualify for the cards unless you have a high credit score and you're just a high credit score person with excellent credit, but you're still not going to get a massive credit limit with any credit union unless you build and establish a relationship. A great example, I got a $5,000 credit limit with Navy Federal. If I would have built and established that relationship, I would have got a $25,000 credit limit, which I already have after I established a relationship. Because you need to establish the relationship with a credit union. They have their own internal credit score. I've shown this about Navy Federal, and people called me a liar. I put it up on the screen like, oh, there it is. They even tell you. They tell you what your internal credit score is. Some of them, not all of them. But understand, credit unions have an internal credit score, okay? Oh, my God. All right, where we go? So you can put as much as you can into your checking and savings. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, as much as you can into your checking and savings. Okay, the more the merrier. Understand that. And your direct deposit needs to be a minimum of $500. They want to see that. Next up, we want to do a secured loan for a minimum term of 24 months. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, do not let them put it on auto payment. You want to actually see it hit your credit report. So you have to make your first payments manually, set a reminder like at least 10 days before your due date to make that payment. Once you've made that payment, okay, and then it hits your credit report, you're going to call them and pay off 80 to 90% of the loan, of the secured loan, pay off 80 to 90% of the loan and put the remaining balance on auto payment for the next months or however long the term is that you choose. The longer the term, the better for your credit profile and your relationship with the credit union. Okay. Now, when you pay off 80 to 90% of the loan, that's going to look great on your credit profile and to the bank. So Skyla's going to like it that you only owe 20% of that loan, even though you secured it with your own money. Okay. So understand that. So we want to wait till it hits your credit report, then pay off 80 to 90% of the loan. And then we're going to wait 6 to 8 months once you start doing all of this. You wait 6 to 8 months. Now, the lowest threshold is going to be 91 days. I do not recommend it. You will get approved for something, but the longer you wait, if you wait at least six to 8 months, you're going to get a higher chance of a higher limit. Every one of my clients that did this, the minimum they got was a $15,000 credit card. Minimum. The majority of them got a $20,000 or $25,000 credit limit, pushing it all the way to its maximum capacity because they built the relationship properly. Okay. So drop a little money bag emoji if you want me to make a dedicated video on this step by step about how to do this whole secured loan process. Okay. But I just gave you all the sauce right there, ladies and gentlemen. Now, our fifth credit card. Okay. Who's this? Why do people come in here and like do these weird things and like make these weird comments? You're so weird, man. I'm going to ban you and delete you, bro. You're just weird. So, yeah. And here he is again over here. So let's go and ban him and delete their comments. All right. So moving on to card number 5. Okay. Card number 5 is going to be the Discover It secured card. Card number 5 is going to be the Secured It credit card. Let me see if I have my Discover card in here. I don't know if I do. I'm going to be honest with you, but I know I have one. So, yep, there it is. You know, it's interesting how some credit cards, they make them certain colors. So, like, you can see them in your wallet easier. But the Discover It credit card, I got the Discover It. I didn't have to do secured. But Discover, there is no hard inquiry to see if you qualify. So now we built our credit cards. We got the Cred.ai. We got a Capital One card. We did the CardMatch. And now we're going to see if we qualify for Discover. That's 4 cards. Because again, there's no hard inquiry to see if you're approved or you qualify for the Discover It card. You're going to get 1 to 2% cash back on this credit card, which I'm a fan of. Again, 1 to 2 card with revolving categories that you have to activate. There's no annual fee. The secured graduates to unsecured in 6 to 8 months. So you get your deposit back, you get that money back, and you get a higher limit. But again, when you're rebuilding with any of these credit cards, never carry a balance. You shouldn't be carrying a balance ever. The money's not your money. Well, unless it's secured. Technically, it is, okay? But the money's not your money. You have to have that mentality all the time. This is not my money. Use it for simple purchases. You don't have to get out here and spend a bunch of money, get in debt. You do not have to be in debt to be successful with credit cards, ladies and gentlemen, or to have a high credit score. Again, that's my credit score right there. 819, 827, 814. I have no debt, ladies and gentlemen. So anybody that tells you got to carry a balance, they're lying. They don't know what they're talking about. So this isn't just a credit card. Let's put it like this. This isn't just a starter card. The Discover It isn't just a starter card. It's a gateway to prime cards, because having this on your credit profile is super valuable, okay? It's very important to understand. Now, you don't have to get any of these credit cards. I'm just giving you examples of how to move along to build your credit profile properly, okay, ladies and gentlemen? I'll get to the questions in a second, so keep dropping those questions, okay? So, do you already have a Discover card? Drop a yes or no in the chat if you have a Discover card. If you don't, drop a no. So, do you already have a Discover card, the secured one or an unsecured one? There's cashback rewards, there's points. So it's pretty crazy. It's a very, very easy process. Drop it in the chat. Do you have a Discover credit card? Yes or no? Let me know in the chat. I want to know how many people have it, how many people don't. There's nothing wrong with that. A lot of people say it's really hard to get the Discover card, and that is true. Okay. But if you start off with a secured card, they give you the opportunity for that. You just beat the game. That's one of the biggest things that people disregard. Like, I don't want the secured one. No, get the secured one. And then use the card, pay it off in full every single month, okay? And never carry a balance. And in 6 to 8 months, they'll give you your deposit back, and you're right in the Discover family completely and wholeheartedly, okay? And I'm going to tell you right now, the Discover is like the most elite customer service. Okay, people are like concerned that now Capital One and Discover have merged. I don't think it's going to change, but I could be wrong. But they have elite customer service. I'm going to drop my link in the chat for anybody to see if they qualify for the Discover card. There's no hard inquiry to see if you qualify. And here's the thing. When I applied for the Discover card, I did not qualify. I used their tool, said, see if you qualify. I said, sorry, you don't qualify for any offers, Mike. I was like, what? I was like, are you serious? I was so upset. I was like, man, this is really true. And then in like 3 months, I got an email from them. Hey, you pre-qualified. Why all of a sudden I pre-qualify? So random. And I went and applied and I got approved. I was like, okay, that's so weird. But if you don't qualify right now, work on your credit, and Discover will let you know through email if you qualify. They may even send you something in the mail. Okay. Let me see. Let me see. All right. So I'm going to drop it in the chat for anybody who wants to apply for the Discover card. That's my referral link from my Discover account. So they just give, I believe you get like a bonus if you get approved because you're using my link. I think it's like 100 or I think it's 100 or 200. I can't remember. But now I'm going to tell you what not to do, ladies and gentlemen. If you're ever tempted to get a First Premier, Open Sky, Credit One, Indigo card, just stop. Don't do it. You don't need them. You don't need them, ladies and gentlemen, because they come with high fees, no rewards, no credit card limits, and no graduation. Type trash if you've ever fallen for one of these cards before. No shame. We've all been there. I had a Credit One at one point. I got tricked by Credit Karma. Credit Karma's like, you qualify for this card. And it was like my second card. I'm like, yo, let's go. And then everyone's like, bro, that is like the worst credit card. I was 26 years old. Okay, I was young. I had no idea what I was doing. And I closed it eventually. That's what I did because I'm like, I'm not paying these people an annual fee every month. The longer you leave it open and then you decide to close it, the more it's going to hurt. So the sooner you close it, yes, there's going to be a negative impact. It's going to hurt you, but your score will rebound in 6 to 9 months. So if you're rebuilding your credit, who cares? Get rid of it and start all fresh. Start with the path I just gave you. It's pretty simple. Okay? Yeah, everyone's falling for that. See? Everyone's falling for that trash. This is why I tell people Credit Karma is a scam, ladies and gentlemen. They're a marketing site. They want to sell you crappy credit cards, high interest loans. They're like, hey, you got some debt. You want to get a personal loan with us for 30% interest? You qualify. Or do you want to get a home loan with a high interest rate? You qualify. They're trying to sell you everything under the sun. Yeah, same credit card situation. We'll close it now. Thanks for your advice. Had a Credit One for 10 months. Yeah. And he closed it. Good for you. They sold the debt to another company. Yep, that's what happens. So I logged into my Equifax account and saw the no issues. And I called them Tuesday to fix my account. Okay. Credit One approved me for $400. I closed it immediately. You should have. You know, it's a shame that middle schoolers, Alejandro, and high school level kids are not taught about credit and basic business knowledge. It's so true. My son is so ahead of the curve. My son has close to an 800 credit score. And he has so many friends that they say, yo, why is your credit score higher than my dad's and my mom's? And I'm like, what? I was like, yeah, son. Like, he's kind of shocked. And I'm like, no, I kind of expect that. It's a normal thing because a lot of people just don't understand. They don't know. Okay. There was a question I want to hunt down here for a second. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to find it. Here we go. Thoughts on buying trade lines to improve credit history. Trade lines are temporary. Don't spend money. Why waste the money? Because it's only going to be for 30, 60, or 90 days, and you have to keep paying it every month. They want to get you in that cycle. So just rebuild your credit properly, like I just showed you in the video. Now, once you join the live, make sure to tell us exactly where you're at, where you're from, if you just joined, and hit that like button, ladies and gentlemen. We don't have enough likes over here, everybody. We need to get more likes. What y'all doing? I'm giving y'all so much sauce, man. We don't been on this live for an hour. I'm still cranking. So hit that like button. So I'm not a fan of trade lines. If you have negative accounts on your credit report, then you need to fix those first. Don't waste your money on trade lines if you have collections or charge-offs, because you still have collections or charge-offs. Yes, it can raise your credit score, but not as much if you had no actual collections or charge-offs for negative accounts. Because understand this, your credit history is one of the most important things. You only want to use a trade line. Let's say, for instance, if you're going to buy a house, you're going to buy a car, and you want to beef up your credit profile right before you apply. That's when you want to use a trade line. Other than that, what's the purpose? Unless you're married and you and your wife or your significant other, whoever it may be, is an authorized user, you're helping each other. We call it player one and player two because you have certain credit cards. So you work together to get better benefits and better points, better rewards. You're working together in sync to help build each other up and get the best rewards possible. That's when authorized users are super helpful. But like paying for them, like, what's it going to get you? Temporary. Build your credit profile up, and then once you're going to apply for something, then add a trade line to beef it up right before you apply. That's how you actually truly use a trade line if you're going to use one. Hope that makes sense. That was a big one right there. Here we go. Let's see. So this is a really easy one, Cherian. I have no charge-offs or collections, just high balances and no derogatories. Pay down your balances. You got to get yourself back on track. The longer they sit there and you don't come up with a plan, the more you're going to pay in interest. The more you're going to pay in interest. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Now remember, we want to build with the big banks, ladies and gentlemen. The 5 big names, Capital One, Discover, Chase, American Express, and Citibank. That's how lenders trust you. That's how you build real credit, ladies and gentlemen, okay? Now, I want to give one more special shout out to all my beasters out there that are working hard to fix their credit using Dispute Beast, the most advanced AI credit repair software ever created. And it comes with a 110% money back guarantee. Let's go and show some results real quick. We'll start at the very bottom. John's credit score went up 42 points after 30 days. Raphael's credit score went up 106 points after 30 days. Brian's only went up 10 points after the first round. Kim went up 159 points after just 30 days. Nicholas went up only 18 points after 30 days. And DeMarcus, 559 points after 30 days. Javon, 151 points after just 30 days. And Irene, 38 points after just 30 days with Dispute Beast. So link is going to be in the video description, and I'm going to drop it in the comment section for anybody that needs Dispute Beast to fix their credit. Literally, it's the easiest system you could ever possibly use, and it comes with a 110% money back guarantee. Follow the process. If it doesn't work, you get a full refund. Who else is doing that? None of these credit repair companies are doing that. They're charging you outrageous prices. I'm keeping it at the lowest point we can possibly can. And then if it doesn't work, you get your money back. It's just that simple. Follow the process. There we go. I love this right here. Since I put my husband on my Capital One for that exact reason. Teamwork makes our dream work. That's right. You work together to build wealth, to build awesome experiences. Like, oh, this is another good tip. This is a really good point here. So if you have somebody in your household that has a Chase Sapphire Preferred or a Chase, the Chase Sapphire Reserve. I'm having a brain fart, sorry. So if you have the Chase Sapphire Preferred and the Chase Sapphire Reserve, you can only have one of those in your household. So you have to choose who's going to get it. So I had my wife get it. I was like, I'm not a big fan of Chase. I prefer Amex. I'm not an American Express guy. But we use it to our advantage. And we also have business credit cards with Chase to help us move those points over. So we use it as a team. It's pretty crazy. So yeah, it's the best way to build credit and wealth is together and holding each other accountable together. I'm dropping the link for Dispute Beast in the comments. If you're on Facebook, just comment and it'll DM you the link also, ladies and gentlemen. All right. This is a great question. I'm going to answer a few questions and we're going to do that. I've been sued by LVNV funding for my Credit One, and now they're sending me credit card offers. You know what's pretty crazy is Credit One's CEO owns a debt collection company. It's not LVNV funding. It's another company. So not only will they make sure that you default, but they'll make sure that they get the collections on it. So yeah, it's not uncommon. Stay away from them. They're trash. All right, 3 of my negative accounts are with Capital One and Discover. If I get them deleted, will those companies give me credit back? No, they will not. You're going to be blacklisted from Discover until you pay them back. You can delete it from your credit reports. It's possible, but they won't let you back in until you pay them back. Capital One will actually let you back in. Depends on the situation. Everyone's situation is different, but they are the most forgiving. I always tell people wait 6 to 8 months after you defaulted before applying for another Capital One credit card. You have a higher chance if you just wait. Yeah, so what's the reason only one person can have a Chase Sapphire? That's weird. That's just their policy. They only want you having, because think about it like this, for always, forever, for life. Okay? Think about it like this. If I had the Chase Sapphire Reserve and the Chase Sapphire Preferred, and then my wife had them, we could stack all of those bonuses. So I would get 2 bonuses and she would too. They don't want to give you all those free points and all that free travel. So they want to lock you into like only 1 card per household, which is pretty wild. Can Dispute Beast target my charge off auto loan? It's reporting incorrectly on all 3 bureaus. Yes. Dispute Beast will hunt down every negative item that's hurting your credit and will create a custom attack letter and a custom attack flow. It will hunt it down and attack it. Doesn't matter what type of negative item it is, it will find it on its own. Okay. Now, people always ask me, well, what kind of collections? All of them. Any negative account that's hurting your credit, Dispute Beast is going to hunt it down and attack it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, doesn't matter what it is, it's going to find it and attack it because it's looking for any negative account that's having a negative impact on your credit profile. It's going to find it, hunt it down, attack it, and then keep it pushing from there. Doesn't matter what type it is. I'm trying to find this list. But Dispute Beast is very unique in that sense because it's looking for every type of negative account that is hurting your credit to actually attack it. So we're talking about collections, charge-offs, medical collections, bankruptcies, repossessions, student loans in default, child support, hard inquiries, any negative item that's hurting your credit. And it's also making sure to attack any names or addresses that do not match your driver's license and utility bill in your account. So it's doing all of that work to try to clean up your credit profile because it wants to do that. Dispute Beast is $49.99 a month. And you can print and mail your letters on your own, or you can use Dispute Beast to mail them for you, but there is an additional fee based on however many letters you have. Okay. Let me see. So can you take charge-offs? Can you take off charge-offs? I have 2. I also got a $55,000 off of student loan, but they are not reducing debt to income on credit. So this is an interesting question. So when a credit card charges off, it goes to your debt to income ratio. But also when you remove your student loans, it should lower that debt to income ratio if it's deleted properly. I've seen situations where it doesn't, but anytime I've seen Dispute Beast do it, it deletes it completely. So it could be the way that you're looking at it. You may not understand what you're looking at. But Dispute Beast can delete just about any type of negative item. I can't say, oh, yeah, it's going to delete this because I don't know. And it's illegal for me to say that it will. But I know that it has deleted plenty of charge-offs. Okay. Yeah, here it is right here. Cap 1 let me back in after I defaulted from Jesse. So there you go. So yeah, just take some time. You can get back in. I am you in the future. What? Okay. What about credit builder accounts? I'm not a fan of a lot of credit builders except for Kovo. Because Kovo is an installment loan. It's for 24 months and it's only $10 a month and they will never report you late. Crazy, right? There's a lot of credit builders out there that will in fact report you late. Kovo is one of the very few that does not. Okay. And that's why I love Kovo, because they're not in the business of trying to report people late like a lot of these other companies. Like the Kickoff, Self, all of those companies will in fact report you late. And there's no hard inquiry. There's instant approval with Kovo. So anybody that needs it, I'm going to drop it in the chat right now because someone just asked for it. Where is it at? Here it is right here. Jesse was asking about credit builder accounts. Now, Jesse, go back and watch the part where I talked about credit unions because you're building a credit builder with a secured loan. It's the best type of credit builder because you're putting your money in, then you're getting it back. And then you're building a relationship with the credit union and you're also building up your credit profile. So it's like threefold. Like what you're doing is this powerful way. And that's why exactly I love Kovo also, because it's a credit builder that doesn't report you late and it's low cost and it can go for 24 months. You want the minimum amount of time on any credit builder to be 24 months. Any less than that, it's not worth it. You're wasting your money, your time. I don't support a lot of these credit builders because they do the biggest thing, which is report people late. It's like, yo, they're trying to rebuild their credit. They could have went through a hardship. But if you get a credit builder, understand it should not report you late. Oh, this is a great one right here. Credit Strong. I'm not a fan of Credit Strong. They are the biggest ripoff because they charge you absorbent fees and they charge you interest, like crazy interest too on top of that. I'm not a fan of Credit Strong, okay? Bank of America closed my only secured credit card. What do I do? So it depends on what's going on with them. If you owe them money, I will go ahead and get on a payment program so it doesn't go to collections. You do not want it to go to collections. And just use your Cred.ai credit card. Put $10 on it every single month. Use it for a bag of chips, a drink at the gas station when you go get gas, and then pay it off in full. That's it. It's just that simple. But reach out to them and see exactly how you can fix that relationship. Let's see. All right. Yeah, it's not free to mail the tax out. Correct. You cannot get free mailing anywhere. So you have the choice. You can print and mail your letters on your own, or you can pay the fee to have Dispute Beast mail them for you. Yeah, I never said it was free, Michael. So I don't know why you would assume that, because again, you're paying for the actual printing of the letters, the paper, the envelopes, the postage, and someone to do it for you, which is the machine. So yeah, it's not going to be free, unfortunately. If it was able to be free, we would, but yeah, we can't do that. Postage and mailing is not cheap. Ink and paper is not cheap either. Let me see. So yeah, just get to work, Michael. You're gonna be good, bro. Just follow the process. And listen, use this video to your advantage, ladies and gentlemen. If you're a beaster, use this video to your advantage and work on your credit while rebuilding at the same time. This is the biggest mistake that people make, ladies and gentlemen. This is the biggest gem I'm going to tell you right now. Rebuild your credit while you're trying to fix your credit, because you don't want to do absolutely nothing with your credit while you're trying to tear down the negative items and then get to the end of the road and then you just start. You're going to be behind the 8 ball. So start rebuilding immediately once you start attacking. But use the ones that I told you, because these are all built for people with bad credit with no hard inquiries. Stop applying for crappy credit cards. You don't need them. I promise you. Patricia, it may take a minute for them to report. Sometimes it takes a while for items to report. You might have got it at the end of the cycle when it's not reporting. A great example. What is it? A Citibank credit card of mine. I know it's completely paid off, but it reported a balance because I paid it off right before the cycle closed, or was it in the middle? It was in the middle of the cycle closing. So now I have to wait another 30 days for it to report that it's paid off. So it can take up to 90 days, just to be honest with you. So just be patient. It will show up. Okay, this is a really good question right here. Does Dispute Beast attack late payments? Yes, that's all I have. And a closed account that was a car loan and it's paid off in 2014 is showing up on my credit. All right, stop worrying about closed accounts, ladies and gentlemen. A closed account's not hurting your credit. Now, it hurts you when it closes temporarily, but your score will rebound. This is why I love Dispute Beast, because Dispute Beast will not attack that closed account because it knows better. See, people that don't know what they're doing make these crazy mistakes. That closed account that was paid off in 2014, that's 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. That's 12 years of positive payment history that you're trying to delete from your credit report. If you were to delete that, it would destroy your credit. You see? So that's why you don't attack closed accounts. Okay? It was totaled and paid off. Doesn't matter. It's still helping your credit because it has, what was it, what did we say, 12 years or 14 years of positive payment history? A closed account will stay in your credit report for 7 to 12 years at maximum, but normally 7 to 10. And you want it to stay there because it's building up that age of credit and it has so much positive payment history. Positive payment history makes up over 30% of your credit profile. Let me show you so you understand what I'm talking about. Because a lot of people don't get that. So give me 1 second. I'm going to remove something so I can add something. But I'm going to show you exactly what this looks like because a lot of people don't. I want everyone to screenshot this so you guys can see this. 35% of your credit score is positive payment history, ladies and gentlemen. 35% of your credit score is positive payment history. So if you delete any closed account, you're going to have a major negative impact on your credit profile if you delete that. You don't want to. 35% of your credit, that's 192 points that you can get. Yo, screenshot this, ladies and gentlemen, and save this on your phone so you always understand how your credit score works. All of these factors are the only thing that affects your credit score, nothing else. So let's stop taking advice from these amateurs on social media telling you to delete a closed account. That's when I hear people say that, I'm like, yo, this person doesn't even know what he's talking about. He's about to destroy these people's credit profiles. Okay. All right. So yes, you can get Discover to put you on a payment program to help you get back on track, but it's not going to fix your situation if it's already charged off. Okay. They're not going to fix that. But if you want to get in the good graces of Discover, then you pay them, but they're not going to delete it from your credit report. Just want to be really clear on that. And they'll tell you that too. They'll be honest with you. Or maybe they won't. It depends on who you talk to. I'm not a fan of SellerFi anymore. SellerFi fell off. SellerFi fell off. Not a fan of them. They used to be really awesome. They just completely fell off. They stopped them from reporting. So then they had to try to readjust and fix everything. And it's just not a good situation. I just don't trust them anymore. They're just not a trusted business anymore. It's very disappointing that SellerFi fell off because it was a good product if they would have done it properly. Clearly, the credit bureaus did not like something they were doing, so they stopped them from reporting. And they had to figure out what to do, and they lost a lot of money, and they crashed and burned, and now they're trying to come back. And it's like, how do you trust somebody when you paid money to get into this program and it disappeared? Like, it's not a good look. It's not a good look. Okay. Yeah, just want to tell everybody thank you for coming to the live. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and make sure to follow if you haven't on other platforms. You can find me anywhere. I greatly appreciate everyone that came to the live. I got to get out of here, go to dinner, go eat some dinner because I'm starving. Y'all have a wonderful weekend.